Hey guys, it's Scott with Scottie Cards, and in this video, I want to talk about a big trade that I made at the 2025 National. So I know this is a few weeks late, and I know I'm in a weird location compared to normal, but I wanted to do a video on a trade I made at the National. I was not anticipating making any moves at the National. I basically was going there just to meet people and say hello to friends. But on the last day, I was there on a Friday, I had not spent $1. I think I traded one Pokemon card I pulled from a pack for another Pokemon card. It was a great card. I got like a really cool Giratina. I'll show the photo right now. That was all I did. And I was bragging to my wife that I did a really good job and that I didn't get anything. I didn't pay for anything. But the next day, after I said that to her, I came across a table with Summit Sports Cards, really good guy on Instagram. I've done deals with him in the past, and we decided to do a trade. And I think it worked out really well for both sides. One thing I will note, I was with Filmington and Chris, baseball card addict on Instagram, who are also members of Spitball and Cards, my second YouTube channel that I'm a part of, if you want to check that out. And they really kind of peer pressured me into it. Well, not really. I wanted to do it, and they just said it was a decent deal. And before I show you the card that I picked up, I probably should just comment that I'm in a weird place and wearing a weird hat. No Rockies hat today, forgot it at home. And I'm actually at my brother-in-law's auto body shop called Dave's Auto. If you don't know Dave's Auto, he has a YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers. He just has this sitting on his desk right here. I'd been doing YouTube for a few years. So he's like, hey, let me take a crack at this. And now they're significantly larger than I am. So I am no longer, not even close to the biggest YouTuber in the family. So thanks for letting me use your office, Miles, and check out Dave's Auto. But with that being said, let me show you the card that I picked up. And I traded quite a bit, probably a $30,000-ish trade for this particular card. And without further ado, here is that particular card. Yes, it is a Shohei Ohtani 2018 Bowman Chrome Refractor Blue Autograph, one of the best Ohtani cards you can get. I am still partial to the hitting. I want to say that first. There'll be people who are in the comments saying, you always say you like the hitting. I do like the hitting. But a lot of people who I view as very intelligent and smart people, they prefer the pitching. And Ohtani is one of those players who is great at both. He's going to be an all-time great because of his hitting and pitching, that I thought it would be really cool to be able to get both of them side by side. So I now own the blue Bowman Chrome pitching and the blue Bowman Chrome autograph that look really great together as a pair. So this is the card I picked up. Really excited. I actually did a deal with Summit Sports Cards. You may know him on Instagram, and if not, go check him out. He's a good guy. He has a lot of really great Shohei Ohtani cards, and he was able to work a deal out for me. So here is the trade that went down. And one thing I'll know is after I show the trade, I'm actually going to show some polls about this card versus the Bowman Chrome hitting and kind of talk about that dynamic because it is really unique. Here are the cards I gave up. I couldn't just give a lot outside of Ohtani to get another Ohtani. What I gave up was a 2018 Bowman Chrome hitting orange refractor. This is out of 25, as you can see on the screen. I love this particular card, and I love the upside on this particular card, but I do think that an autograph in general is going to be better. So the way this deal worked out is I traded these three cards, that Ohtani orange, I had the Mike Trout gold, and I had the Aaron Judge super short print rookie card. And all of which I like independently of each other, but I just like the upside of the autograph because autographs generally do better across all sports and across all years in comparison to the base card itself. So this is, in my opinion, still one of the, if not the best Shohei Ohtani rookie card for a base card, but I do like the autograph version as well. I'll talk about this in a moment, but I kind of view this autograph, even if it isn't the best one, because I think the hitting is still there, but it's debatable and it can change. It's fluid. It can change in 20 years, but I do think it's still a top 2 or 3 rookie autograph. And we'll discuss that too. I ran a poll on that as well, but I do want to talk about the polls that I did run. I ran these polls in May. And I said, would you rather own the hitting or pitching Bowman Chrome autograph? And 79%, this is a good quantity of people, almost, what is that, 900 people or so, voted that they would rather have the hitting image instead of the pitching image. And I said, okay, well, which one do you think is going to be a better investment in the long run? And 81%, so a higher percentage, even though they said I'd rather have the pitching, more people agreed the hitting is going to be more iconic. And that was in May. Since then, Ohtani has been pitching. So I was wondering if these percentages had changed at all. So I asked this question again, and they had a little bit, right? So we still had about 900 votes. It's 77% now hitting, so a little bit more for the pitching, and only 78% said that iconic card's going to be hitting. It's very much swung that way, and I don't think it's ever going to change, but I do think the pitching aspect, if he has a big year next year, it could a little bit cross some people's minds. One thing that's cool about the pitching is it does have his true autograph. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit longer than his Bowman Chrome hitting, so that came later in the year, while the pitching did come out first. That's the argument for the pitching. So I did ask, though, okay, well, we all basically agree, a super majority, more than 75% agrees that the hitting is better. What about like both? Can they both be iconic? And almost 90% of people, like a really strong amount out of 909 votes, 809 said yes, they both can be iconic. And then I said, do you think these are the two best Shohei Ohtani rookie autographs? And 64% said yes. And so I understand the 36% that said no, right? Maybe someone doesn't like either of these in general, but I do see some that said no. But a majority of people, 64% said yes, these are the best two. And I tend to agree with those individuals, at least from an iconic and liquid perspective, as well as potential upside. Here is an example of a card. People might say this one's better because it sells for more, but this is actually more of a 2019 card, his Goodwin Champions kanji autograph. That is not really a true rookie card. So that's one I'm not counting. If I was counting this card, I think this one could be bigger, obviously, because of the kanji autograph. But here are like my personal big four chases that I'm looking at for Ohtani. I did get the Bowman Chrome pitching, the Bowman Chrome hitting, and the patch autograph from Dynasty, the RPA. Sapphire is up there, absolutely, in my opinion. And if you would like a couple others, I would do the Red Ink Grill and autographs. These are some that I would also love to have. So overall, I did make this trade at the National. I hope it was the right move. I gave up a lot. I actually added some cash to this as well. But overall, at a $30,000 to $32,000 value on that Ohtani, I try to be transparent that when I'm making these purchases, it's not coming from me just having a lot of money, because I don't. It's all about like, building and making smart moves and hoping with big speculation that it pays off for you. I really don't know if there's any other place to put your money than Ohtani right now, which is funny because a few years ago, I wouldn't say I was an Ohtani hater. That's not the right word. I don't even know if doubter was the right word. I knew how good he was. I just did not realize how impactful he's going to be in the baseball card hobby moving forward. That was one of the big things I took away from the National, and partially why I made this trade is basketball cards and football cards are much more prevalent, especially in the high end over baseball cards. Yes, you have Aaron Judge. Yes, you have Mike Trout, you could argue. Yes, you have Bobby Wood Jr., but nothing compares to what's going on in like the 2000s, like exquisite basketball, Jordan and LeBron, Steph Curry, 2009, all these different players, then you have Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. There's not really been a player in the modern era, and I'm defining modern, that debuted after the year 2000, that's really been sought after consistently, at least right now in the hobby. Again, Judge is one of those people, but Ohtani is transcending sports right now. And that is something that's difficult for a baseball player to do in the hobby. And so because of that, I have switched my tune a little bit, and I'm paying a little bit of the consequence of paying higher prices and having to give up more to get the cards. But I do think that there is still a runway for these to go up, or else I wouldn't be making these moves in general. So that's the trade I made. I picked up this particular card. But with that being said, let me know in the comments down below if you think this was a good move, a bad move, if you did on the deal, if you'd have held the other cards. And other than that, I will see you in the next video.